Hello friends, this is Soft Freezing. You are welcome to the third presentation of the design of our simple steel warehouse using Revit Structure. In this lesson we will be looking at connections. Alright, and so if you are new on the channel, do it to subscribe, and if you are also watching, do it to give the lesson a thumbs up. Okay, so let's go into the lesson. So quickly I will be navigating to the structural tab. Under connections, this small arrow, I want to click on that arrow. That will take me to the connection dialog. Alright, so here I have structural connection settings dialog. Okay, here is the parameters, and then here is the connections. So we will be looking at IPS arch connection. We'll take that, and then we'll be looking at also the base plate. This one, I'm double clicking on it. Alright, so we will also scroll down, and then we'll also take clip angle, after which we will also come down and check some other connection. We'll be using end plate. Okay, we will also look at the nail, this nail of frame bolted with arch. I'll double click on that to take it to that side. Alright, so we will also look at this gusset plate at one diagonal. Okay, this one, you click on that. Alright, so I want to also check for these other connections. We have this, that. Okay, alright, so this is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 connections. We first go by this, so click on OK. Alright, so once you click on OK, we want to start to add the connections. At first, you want to start from the base plate connection. So how do you do that? You just have to click on this connection. Once you click on that, you can see this generic connections. Alright, so you can see the cursor has also changed. So you just have to select the stanchion, because I want to add a base plate. So once you click on that, this generic connection, you click on the column. Alright, so just press enter at first. After the column is selected, press enter on the keyboard. Alright, so once you press enter, you have activated this column to actually accept connection. So if you check very well, you can see these symbols here. This one simply means this column has been activated to accept connection. So I want to go to another graphic options, shaded option, to have that. Actually, what did I do? I just have to, if I should go back to the structure, you click on this. Okay, click on the connection, select the column, and hit on the enter key on the keyboard. Then you have this display. Alright, so once this is displayed, you have to just select it. Once you select that, come down to this like for instance, if I click on the blank area, you notice that you will not have that generic connection symbols in the property anymore. But once you selected these connections instances, okay, once you select it like this, you can see the generic connection is activated. Yeah, so now click on the generic connections, and then for this list you can be able to now select the connections that you want to use as your base connection, which is this base plate. I'll just select on that. So once I click on that, you just have to give it some seconds to actually insert the connections automatically. Alright, so you can see the connection has been inserted successfully. The base plate connection, this is it. Alright, so what you now need to do is to edit this. As you can see, the board is colliding with the stanchion, so just select the connection like that. come up straight away to this override instance, select that box, and this place will be prompted. Well, if this place is not selected, here will not be prompted. You can see this place look failed, look not functioning. All right, where my cursor is. But as soon as you select this override by instance, this place will be prompted, and once it is prompted like this, click on it for you to be able to edit this this base plate. Alright, so this is base plate dialog. In this base plate dialog, what you see first here is the plate thickness. So I want to be changing this plate thickness to 16. I select here. You can see it's being changed successfully. Alright, and so this provision is a layout provision. The projections, you can see the column shuttling. I'll move straight away to washer. Do I actually need washer? If I need washer, create a washer. Just check here. Washer will be created here. You can see washer created. Right. So the size can be edited. Also the thickness of the washer can change it to 10, depending. Okay. So if you want to also create it under the boat, you can create it. All right. So there is provision to do that. All right. You can see the washer thickness has been changed. I want to come straight away to this anchor parallel. I want to actually adjust this anchorage. All right. So the number we are considering as in the number of bodies too. You can see it here. This intermediate distance, I want to change it to 150, just like that. If I click on this empty space, you can see the changes. You see the changes has been made. All right. So if I change it, for instance, to 200, you see the changes. Yeah. I click here. That is the changes. All right. So I think this is okay by me. If you want to use 3 boats, you can use 3 boats there. Okay. So that is how it works. And also, if you come to this other place, it takes care of these other positions, opposite positions of this base plate. All right. So if you check this place, also you will have a corner plate, corner shape. If you want the edge of the base plate not to be fillet or to be convex, you can select any of it, and it will be implemented successfully. All right. If you check for this is the base plate dimension. Okay. This is the base plate dimension, so you can also adjust the base plate dimension. But for the sake of this lesson, we want to go by these settings. So I just click on close here. So once I click on close, I've inserted my base plate successfully. And also for the anchorage, you can be able to select another anchorage. There's a provision also for that, so you can play over with that. So I've successfully placed this base plate here. So I want to be populating this base plate to other stanchions base. Okay. For me to do that, I just have to select this base plate like that. Right click and then click on the propagate connections. Once you click on propagate connections, you give the program a minute. It will populate this base plate to, you can see it, to every other stanchions base. Okay. So that is one thing that is good in using Revit when it comes to connections. All right. So once this is done successfully, we want to go straight away to other connections. You can see all the base carries the base plate connections that we have successfully set. All right. So we will be looking at this Apex Orange connection. So we will come straight away to select our connections again. Pick the rafter, the first rafter. Hold the control key. Pick the second rafter. Right click. So either you click on finish selection or you enter. Okay, all the same. You will have this connection instance. In this connection instance being selected or alighted, come to the property, generate connection. Click on that. In the drop down menu, you can see Apex Orange. So just right on the Apex Orange, it will be extracted for a minute, as you can see. All right. So this is the Apex Orange. All right. This is the Apex Orange. So you can also edit this by selecting on it. Go straight away to the override by instance, select that and click on the modify parameter. So in the dialog, you can see the plate thickness here. Okay. So what we want to actually look at here is you can see the stiffener. If you don't want the stiffener, click this place and click on none. You see it will be taken off. This side is taken off. You click here and click also none. This side will also be taken off, so there is no more stiffener. Okay, so you go straight away to the boat group, and then you have this boat group. So I want to be increasing this boat. You can see this one is colliding here, so what I need to do is I may increase this to 150. Click here the intermediate distances to see the changes. You can see the changes here. It has moved downward, so you can make other changes depending on what you want. The thickness of this bolts can change it to this one. Okay, so the changes is also taking effect. All right, and also you can invert this. If you click here, it will be inverted, and then if you come to the orange one, you can see the orange one and the distance, the length here. Okay, so you can play around with this. All right, orange 2. You can see also the dimensions. All right, so we go by this setting for the sake of this lesson. All right, so click on this close icon. So this being selected, just after I click on propagate connections, this connection will be populated to all the apex joint. So click on that. You give the program a minute to propagate the connections. All right, so you can see this place is having the same connection, the same thing. So the connections has been propagated successfully. The next connection we'll be looking at these connections called the nails of frame boarded with connections. So we'll be looking at that connections now. And for us to do that, I want to navigate to the roof and then remove this beam. With the help of that connection, we may not have need for this beam because there is a provision in the setting that we can project this out. All right. So I want to quickly go to the 0G level to check if I can see those beams. They are not here. I'll check it here. Okay, I can see it here. So I can just select that. All right, hold the control key so I can be able to select multiple of it, just like that. Zoom closely so you can see actually what you are doing. All right, select that and this one as well. DE on the keyboard to delete it. All right, then do this last one. Delete this last one. DE on the keyboard to delete that. So go straight away to the 3D. So you are now having something of this kind. Okay, come to connection, click on connections again. All right, and then you select the first this rafter and hold down the control key on the keyboard and select the column. Right click, select finish selection. So cancel that. Once it's finished selection, the instance has been placed. You move straight away to the generic connection. Click on that. Once you click on that, in the drop down menu, you will be able to locate the connection. Scroll down this one, select that, and give the program a minute to insert that. You can see. So this is the nail frame connections. All right. So you can also edit this connection by selecting it, just as I did previously. Make sure you check this small box to activate this modify parameters tab and click on that. Then in the dialog, you zoom this one out. You can just move this directions. Zoom this out just like this. Okay, and you can make changes depending on what you want. All right. So straight away, if you check the board's placement, you will notice that the board does not have enough edge distance. So if you go straight to this place, you check the plate. All right. You also check the additional rafter. In this additional rafter, you can be able to check this place to have a protrude of a rafter that will form clouding for this design. So if you check this place, all right, you have a protrude here. Okay, you can see it there. So if I rotate it this way, you see it very well, just like that. So depending on the distance from the column, this distance is just 500. If I want it to be 1200, I imputed 1200 there. and it will be extended just like that. Okay, and the next thing we have to look at is these arch braces. If you check this place, you can see the cap. Depending on how you want to place the cap, is this full or half or volume, horizontal, depending on what you want to do. You can see the plate thickness is 150. You can as well reduce it to 100 to 10. All right. Also, column continuous. If you click here, this column will shoot out. All right, and you can give it an extension from here. It depends on your designs. Okay, but this we are okay by this, just like this. All right. And I want to be looking at this. I want to be looking at this arch rafter, the arch rafter from bottom. Okay, the arch rafter from bottom and the length inner and plate. If you select this plus, you can see the this length seems to be 1000. If you change it to 500, you can see change that to 500. You can see the effect. Okay. So if you rotate it this way, to work on the board, you can select there, and then you can see the board groups here. Okay, so you can see the line 1, group 1, and the group 2. If you check here, you also have the board, as you can change the diameter of the board as well. Okay, you can also invert the boards. Okay, if you check this place, you see what happened now. The board will be inverted. You can see. All right, so come to the board groups and change this place to 100. Click there. Also change can change this place also to, this is 155, make it 100. You can see the changes there. All right, also make this place 150. Okay, so this is not all right. That is not fine. Take it back to 100. Okay, and take this one. Sorry, take this to 80. Okay, and then take this to 150. The distance are in place. Okay, and I want to be looking at also the base plate. Now this is the base plate thickness. You can see the base plate bottom projections and the top projections. You can see the width of this base plate here, 175. You make it 200. You make that 200, so you can see the extension now. The bows are not having, they are now having an edge distance. Okay, so that is it. If you check very well now, I changed this to 500. It has actually affected this arch braces. Okay, so this is okay. We'll be going by this. I will just have to close this one. You can also do some other changes. I want to populate this to other parts by right clicking it. Click on propagate connections to propagate it to other parts. We just give it a minute. Alright, you will notice that is done, even including this side. Alright. Okay, so after finishing that, we want to continue with the connection. We provide connection for this and this one. So this will be using a M-plate connection. So we just activate the connection. Select this column or the control key, select this beam, and then right click on finish selection. Then start the instance and then select this, and then we will we'll be using this clip angle connections. Click on that. I give it a minute to insert the connections. Alright, so this is the clip angle connections. So if you want to edit this particular connections, you can do this, go the same way, do the editing the same way we did in other, but we may not necessarily edit this, as this is okay. We'll go by that, right click and propagate it to other connection provisions. So give it a minute, you can see it here. I also see it here. All right. Alright, so this has been propagated to other places. Alright, successfully. We want to proceed. We go back to the structural again, click on that, select this beam and this one by holding down the control key, just like that. Right click, finish selections to install the instance. The instance being highlighted, just click this point, and then we want to also use this eclipse angle, so you select that. Once later, give it some time to install that. Then be selected, right click, and then click on the propagate connections. You can see it here. You can also see it here. You can see it in all these places. Alright. So the process is in progress. Okay. The process is successful now. You can see all the connections there. Alright. If you check this other side, you will notice that this is being connected successfully. Alright, so we want to proceed to the braces connection. This braces connection. So we'll come straight the way to this point, onto this place. You zoom this in a way that you can see it very well. Alright, so we just have to activate the connection tool. Activate it that way. You select this column, go the control key, select the angle ion, right click and left click on finished to have that instance in there. The instance being selected up to this point. Check the connection. Will be consider this diagonal brace connection for this case. So you just select that. So once you select that, you give it a time to install the connection, just like this. Okay. So if you check this very well, you can still edit it, being highlighted. Check this instance, override by instance, and then this will be activated. Click on that. And then at this point now, this is the gusset plate. Okay. So the thickness, you can make it 100. Okay. So after which you can come to boats, select the boat. You may use this size of boat. Okay. The boat distances, you can check this boat distances. Distance between distance diagonal boat is this, and the intermediate is that. Okay. So if you check your distance boat gusset plates, I can change this place to 50, and then check the effect. You will notice that if the board will be shifted. All right, make it 100, and so you can see it make the board the plates to be more bigger. All right, so you get it back to the 38 mm. All right, the intermediate distances is also 38. All right. And then this intermediate distances is also between the boats. Okay. You can also increase this intermediate distance and make it 50. Alright, the settings for edge distance, you can see it here. Center line. So it is best to use center line. You go to projection. In the projections, you can be able to see the you can check this contour parallel. Alright, to have a parallel contour line between the angles, and also these projections. You can make an adjustment in those places depending on what you want to do. If I come back to this, gusset plate, you can notice that you have a chamfer head here. If you want to chamfer the both sides parallel, you can use that. And once you use that, you can see the pattern you're having. Okay, see the pattern you're having. Plate arrangement one side, so you can make it both sides, depends. All right, and then this distance you can make it 50. All right, so that is a distance of 50. If you also make this 100, you can just check how it works. All right, so you'll be having something of this kind. Okay, but I think 50 will go very well for that. And then I go back to board again. This 70 intermediate, just change it to 100. All right. This both diagonal distance change it to 50. All right. So I think this is okay. You can also do some other editing if you want. Stiffener covers if you wish. You can consider that, but you can see here it is none because we don't need that for this. So you just have to close this. Then you propagate this to other places. So this has been propagated successfully. For instance, if you check this side, you also have it in this side. You can see it here. Okay. So what we are going to be considering now is this point. We have to provide a connections here. All right. And for us to be able to do that successfully, we will need to adjust this angle iron. So we just straight away go to the east. We get to the east, select this iron. Now while we want to adjust this iron, we want to bring it to this, so somewhere this point, so that the connection will not clash with this beam to column connection. So you just click here, hold it and drag it down to this point and release your hand. So you have that other point. You can see. Select this other one too. Then zoom closely, click, hold, and drag it down to this point. You have that. Alright, so that is the east. You go to the west and do the same thing. You go to the west and do the same thing. By selecting that, you can be able to bring that down, but after finishing the connection on the other side, we can't mirror that. Okay, so I want to go back to the 3D. Having this done like this, you just have to select the go straight to the connections, pick this, or the control key, pick that, and then use these same connections for that place. Sorry, I did not place the instance at first. I click on finish selections to have that. Okay, so once you have that, you can see the connection is inserted successfully. Alright, so this is how it looks. Okay, so you can decide to just go by this. If you click on this and then you propagate it, if you propagate that, you'll be having it on this other side. Just give it some time to propagate. Okay, if you check here, you can see it here. It's being propagated. Alright, so the same thing you do to this place and that also that place. Okay, so having this done successfully, you can just have to highlight this one. To have it at this other side, click on this, go the control key, select that, right click and delete that angle iron, then select this one, go the control key as well, and select this one. Alright, so go to the OG level. You can see it is selected. That's why you are seeing this line. So you just pick on this mirror, come to the this place, click on this mirror axis, then pick on this axis to have it this side. So it's being placed this side now. So if you go to the 3D, you have it there. You can see the connections there and that plus. Alright, so far we have added some connections to this structure, and then we want to bring the lesson to a close here as we will proceed in the next lesson. So like the lesson. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and stay tuned for my advanced lesson. Bye for now.